All right. So welcome, welcome. We are live over on Facebook, and it's so funny. I'm laughing because I cannot make myself the speaker for whatever reason tonight. So you get to see a little bit of everybody who's here with us tonight. And I know if you're tuning in on YouTube, go ahead and say hello. Let us know that you're there. But we're here tonight for our Radiant Spa night. My name is Cindy. And just because we've had a lot of new people kind of tuning in really quickly, I'm just going to give you a little rundown and highlight of who I am as we get started. And then we're going to talk about our Radiance Spa and our brand new product, the Barrier Restore, who it's for, what it helps with. And I'll be honest, at first I was like, I'm not so sure about this product. Do I need it? I don't know that I do. But as I'm learning more about it and I've been working with it, you see an incredible radiance with your skin. So here's my skin without the product. And I'm just going to demo it on my hand because I do still have products on my face. And just one tiny little squirt. And even as it soaks in, here is my skin with the product on. And you can just see the radiance and kind of the glow. And even as it dries and sinks in, it keeps some of that. Like you can just see the difference between my two hands of some of that radiance and reflection. And that's because the barrier of our skin is at the top of our skin. But as we age, it breaks down. Think about it like a brick wall, right? It just starts to disintegrate and break away a little bit. And so we're going to talk about some of those things. But in case you don't know who I am, my name is Cindy, and I've actually been with Mary Kay now about 28 years, helping women to feel confident every time they walk out the door. That's one of my missions. And I really want to match your style with what your needs are, and just helping you to find both a beauty routine and a skincare routine that meets your needs, that's customized for you. And that's a little bit about what I do. Some of the gals that are with us are some of our team members because they're learning about some of the new products too. And they might ask questions as we go through tonight. But that's one of the things that I love about Mary Kay is you get a personal guide, whether you're a team member or a client, you get a guide of someone that helps you to walk through, do I need this in my routine? Do I not? Who's it for? And how best to fit it into the routine. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And we're really focusing on our new Barrier Restore product. Last month at our session, we talked about the retinol 0.3, and we had skin school for the retinol. So tonight is going to be your skin school related to the Barrier Restore. But I'm also going to talk to you a little bit just about some of the steps. How does it fit into those steps? And what are the steps for really treating your skin to just a great skincare system day in and day out? But that allows you to bring a little bit of sometimes that spa home to you just with a good daily skincare routine. And so, first of all, we always talk about you want to cleanse, and ideally, you want to cleanse twice a day, morning and night. So typically I use our Time Wise foaming cleanser, super gentle for your skin, for all skin types. It really does lather up a whole lot, but we have various other cleansers. If you've got combination to oily skin, we have both our Time Wise and our mattifying cleanser. For normal to dry skin, we have our hydrating cleanser or the Time Wise as well, plus acne systems and men's products. So there's a little bit of everything to find the right cleanser for you. And then after we cleanse, we typically might apply some serums or clinical solutions type boosters to our routine, and being able to incorporate those pieces if there's other areas of particular concern. And so sometimes we have very specific products in our boosters. Other times we have products that pretty much I use day and night. And this is our lifting serum, kind of our tightening and toning, helping with tightening and toning in this area. I love it. When I started to use this product, my cheekbones kind of got highlighted again. It's tightened and toned and kept those jowls from, expanding as I continue to add more and more numbers to the calendar for my age. It really helps with that as well. And so that is a daily type product as well. And we always want to close out our skincare program with some type of moisturizer. So your moisturizer will always be a piece of that, because kind of cleansing, exfoliating, toning, moisturizing, and protecting our skin are really some of the basics that we want to do time and time again. Okay. And then we add in some of the extras that might fit a little bit better based on what our skin needs or what it needs the most. And so the Barrier Restore is one of those products that may fit for some of you. And here's the thing, as I said, I wasn't sure I really needed it till I understood a little bit more about what that barrier does and how best to protect that area. And it can be, this is typically going to be applied as the last step right before your moisturizer. So you'll put any other serums or things on that you are using, and this would be the last step right before the moisturizer. But let me go ahead and pop up. I'm going to do a screen share, and I'm going to do my screen. Oops. Sorry, hit the wrong button. And start broadcast. And I'm going to hop over here to my photos and just show with you. I think I'm a visual person. I like to see things. So what is this Barrier Restore? And barrier products have started to get kind of a little bit of a name in the last, 6 to 12 months. We've heard a little bit more about it. But the barrier is that most outer layer of our skin. And this product acts to both strengthen it, to keep the good things in and the bad things out. That's what your skin barrier does. And so, as it says down here, if we have a weak skin barrier, it can act like a net. It lets things through. It lets things in we may not want, and it can be caused by natural aging, the climate, sun exposure, and various things. And how do you know if your barrier might be a little bit weaker? Typically, your symptoms are redness, dryness, and it can feel tight or taut or irritated or red or literally flaky, itching, rough texture. So it's not as smooth as you might want it to be. And then just overall sensitivity. So the more sensitive our skin is, the more it might be caused by that weak barrier. And so that's why strengthening the barrier will help it to act more like a brick wall, keeping the bad things out and those good things in, such as our moisture, the nutrients for our skin, but keeping out pollutants and things. And how this product works, what I love is, and if you see it, if the packaging has on it 113, it's 1 part fatty acid, 1 part ceramide, and 3 part cholesterol. They're all natural lipids that our skin actually has. So you see it on here, it says it mimics the skin's own natural lipid ratio with the 113 of fatty acids, ceramides, and cholesterol, the good kind, it says. So that as those deplete a little bit over time, we help to bring that back and help that to rebuild and restore. And in studies, they were shown that they can see an improvement in the look of the redness in the skin in as little as 2 weeks. So there were lots of studies done. And they said even within hours, they were seeing differences in the skin type for people, that they were seeing, a structural difference in their skin when they looked at it at that level. And so that's the pieces that are in the product. That's some of the things that can help us to combat. Now, if you don't have some of those symptoms, how can this still be a benefit to you if it's something you want to incorporate? Is it just is going to keep that skin structure stronger. And as I said, the radiance of it. So even though this has dried, it still is more radiant, light reflective than my other hands. This still just looks, I don't know, a little dull. This has more radiance and light reflection to it. So if we want more radiant skin, the barrier is going to be a great choice to put into our routine to give some of that. So that's kind of your quick overview of that product, what's in it, why it's working, what it does, and when to apply it. So last before your moisturizer, and it can be used twice a day, both morning and night. But any other questions from our gals that are on here about that barrier restore? I will tell you, it's a little creamier than what I thought. And I have found it to be a good complement as well to the retinol that we did last time, because your retinol is helping with that cell turnover. So my skin, on that top layer really is feeling much softer with using that retinol. But if you're finding that you're getting a little bit of dryness from your retinol, which is not uncommon, it is part of that process. So I tell people maybe just step back your retinol to every other day for a little bit of a season. With this change in weather, the heat kicking on, you might see some changes in your skin from that retinol. But as that helps with the cell turnover and improves just the appearance of your skin, the texture of your skin, the unevenness of your skin, and all of those things through the retinol, your barrier restore can help with that restoration of that barrier and help if you are experiencing some of the dryness or redness, kind of like the facial milk used to be. So this can be a great partner to the retinol in your routine as well. Okay. And I will tell you, I price compared to the market, and compared to some of them that are out there. There was a tiny little skinny tube that was less than ours. But all the other ones that I looked at from department store brands, or, kind of brands that are comparable to the quality of Mary Kay, because we're EU compliant, we ban 1,400 ingredients that we don't allow into our product line. And we also have 100% money back guarantee. Which, total side note, I went to CVS to return a conditioner, like a hair conditioner, because it made my scalp itchy. You can't return it unless it's a CVS brand. I was like, what? They're like, no, we can only guarantee the CVS brands. Yeah, I was a little disappointed by that. I was kind of surprised too. I was like, does she really know what she's talking about? But that's what I was told. And I was like, you know what? Again, the value of Mary Kay, we have 100% money back guarantee. That will be changing to a 1-year guarantee, January 1. Anything you bought in that last year, you'll still be able to return. But that's usually plenty of time for someone to know that it didn't work for them or they didn't like it, right? And things. But you do have that with our products. But the price point, as I said, some of them were up to $125. Which I thought was a rather pricey, and ours is less than 50. So just a great product to add to your routine. Really can be all year long. For some people, it's the season in which they see the changes here with just wanting that extra through the winter. But particularly if you have sensitive skin, redness, dryness, that uneven texture, any of those types of things, rebuild and protect that barrier so you can get that radiance back. But any questions from anybody before I wrap it up for tonight? Is that helpful? How much do you apply? I think just generally I've been using maybe a pump. I'm not even sure if I've used a whole pump. To be honest, Linda, it doesn't take a whole lot. A little bit will go a long way. Again, it's more like a serum type product. It's not meant to be your overall moisturizer, even though it helps with, maintaining some of your natural moisture. You would still put a moisturizer on top of it. It's really meant to be kind of as a serum type piece. And then retinol and then barrier restore. Yes, if you're wearing them together, absolutely. You might put your retinol on at night, let that work, and the barrier restore the next morning, and wear that barrier restore on the days that you're not wearing the retinol, or they can be layered together. Again, it depends on kind of what you like in your routine. I love that retinol 1 to 2 times a week. That retinol, I cleanse, retinol, and moisturize. I don't do anything else those nights, because I want that retinol to just get the greatest impact on my skin. So I do skip some of my other things on that, just once or twice a week with the retinol, because I really then see the difference. But I'm definitely then putting this product on, the mornings after that and being able to do that. So again, for some people, this may be an everyday product. It can be used every day, morning and night. For others, you might use it simply as that complement to the retinol and putting it into your routine. And that's when you can reach out to us, and we're glad to help you to figure out where does this fit best. Because I know some of you are still skin cycling as well. You have an exfoliation night, you have your moisture night, you have your retinol night. And so if you're doing those pieces, there will be certain nights you'll definitely want this one, and there'll be other nights that you may not need to include that one. So we're here to help you kind of customize, but good questions. Any other questions? All right. Where would it fit into skin cycling? Definitely on your hydration nights, your regular routine night, and on your hydration night would be key nights for putting in your barrier restore. It can be used every morning if you would like. And then also, I do like kind of partnering it with the retinol sometimes, that like actually retinol and then this with it. But none of my other serums than those nights. But you wouldn't necessarily need it on your exfoliation night. Let your skin do that. You can definitely apply it though after you exfoliate, because think about it. Your exfoliation is going to buff off the dead, dry skin. It lowers your pore size. It does expose new skin when you do like your microdermabrasion or your facial peel, those physical or chemical exfoliations. And so this would act as your rebuild, restore. It is great. Some people I'm finding out are over exfoliating. I've had that conversation a couple times recently. Some people are like, I love the microdermabrasion. I'm using it every day. And I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. If you want, to have that kind of gritty feel, then we have a scrub for you to use. But you don't want to be over exfoliation. Microderm is 1 to 2 times a week. You don't need it more than that. And depending if you're using retinol, don't use retinol and your exfoliation on the same night. We can be doing too much. And so a lot of times I find that our Mary Kay gals and our clients are pretty well streamlined in what they're doing. But if you are seeing the effects of treating your skin, reach out, get a customized plan, figure out how something like your barrier restore can help to rebuild your skin in that process and being able to do that. So good questions, Linda. Any other questions? All right. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Love to hear your takeaways. Reach out if you have any questions. We're always glad to help you get connected to any of the particular products that we have, or get your own customized routine figured out just for you.